Chair. Those who are over 60% are 20, giving a percentage of 0.9, 59 to 55 are 314, giving us 13.5%, 54 to 50 years is 235, giving us 10.2%. There you can see that those above 50 are 24%. 49 to 45, we have 15%, 40 to 44, 17.8%, and 35 years, you have 20.4%, and 30 years is 17.1%, and those below 30 years is only 4.8%, and that gives us a total of 100%. Again, in terms of the ethnicity and disaggregated data, in terms of people from different communities, majority of them are Kikuyu, comprising of 92%. Then we have other communities, Boran.
And just put as indicated.
Yes, as indicated. The demographic composition of the County Executive Committee members and chief officers in terms of gender and persons with disability. Chair. Female, we have 10 members who are 38.5%. The male are 16, giving us 61.5%, and the total is 100%. On PWDs, the percentage is 3.8%. Again, on age disaggregated is as provided there. As you can see, they are spread out with those between the age of 30 and 34 and 35 to 39, both being 19.2%, giving us the largest fraction, which is about 39.4%. You have between 40 and 44 at 15%, and 49 to 55 at 11.6%. On ethnicity, again, on the executive, we have Kikuyus at 92%, Luos, 2 of them at 0.3%, and Meru, 1 at 2.4%. On the question on recruitment conducted by the county in the last 3 years, outlining the positions that have been filled and the criteria applied in the selection of candidates, we have provided the list of all those who have been recruited, as you can see, from various job groups, a total number of 121 persons for the year 2021-2022, and in the financial year 2022-2023, we have a total of 114 people who have been recruited, and in financial year 2023-2024, we have recruited 53. If you look in this financial year of 2023-2024, you will notice that majority of those who've been recruiting are medical practitioners. On the question of the criteria applied in the selection of candidates, during the period 2021-2022 and 2022-2023 and 2023-2024, we recruited under different categories. Direct appointees by the governor as guided by legislation, those are the CECs, and then staff offering support services to the office of the governor and deputy governor, and then the county public servants appointed by the County Public Service Board pursuant to its mandate as outlined in the County Government Act of 2012. On the issue of those appointed by the governor, is mandated to appoint CEC members, the county secretary and the county public service board, and following the procedure is set out in the County Government Act. CEC members are nominated by the Governor, vetted by the County Assembly, and upon approval by the County Assembly, appointed by the Governor as per the procedure set out in Section 35 of the County Government Act. The appointment of the County Secretary and Chair County Public Service Board as per procedure set out in Section 44 and 58A of the County Government Act 2022. Chair, the Transition Authority, the precursor to the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, gave guidelines of staff to be identified by the Governor and Deputy Governor and recruited by the County Public Service Board to support them in the discharge of their mandate. The procedure to be followed is for respective office to identify suitable staff and forward the personal details and certificates to the County Public Service Board for formal appointment. These ones that fall in this category are the Chief of Staff, the advisors, the personal assistants, personal secretaries, the personal drivers, the messenger, the cook and gardener. These positions are not competitively filled. For all the other positions, the County Public Service Board, upon request from the respective departments, advertises the vacant positions on its website and one newspaper of national circulation. The advertisements clearly stipulate that the minorities, women, youth, and persons with disabilities are encouraged to apply. The advert also states that the county is an equal opportunities employer at the close of the period within which applications are to be received. Long listing is done by the Secretariat of the County Public Service Board. The board then sits to shortlist, and at this point, any applicants falling within the aforementioned category and who meets the minimum academic, professional qualifications and work experience is shortlisted. At the interviewing process, any applicant living with disability and who satisfies the panel is automatically selected regardless of the fact that the candidate's score may not be within the cutoff mark. The same procedure applies to the recruitment of chief officers, but before appointment, the Governor forwards to the County Assembly a list of the successful chief officers for vetting. Upon approval by the County Assembly, the County Public Service Board makes a formal appointment for the successful candidate. Chair, on the status of the compliance by the county with Section 53(6) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act, Cap 412C, Section 53 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, which was revised in 2022, talks about procurement and asset disposal. Planning at subsection 6, it says that all procurement and asset disposal planning shall reserve a minimum of 30% of the budgetary allocation for enterprises owned by women, youth, persons with disabilities, and other disadvantaged groups. Chair, during the year under the review, 2023-2024, the county government of Kirinyaga executive had a procurement budget of 1.2. Out of this, budgetary allocation for enterprises owned by women, youth, persons with disabilities, and other disadvantaged groups was 385 million and 46,450. The actual value of the contracts awarded to the enterprise owned by women, youth, and persons with disability and other disadvantaged groups during the financial year was 837,579,539.30, equivalent to 65.2% of the total budget. The county therefore fully complied and surpassed the threshold set by Section 53(6) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015. On the question of affirmative action measures being implemented by the county in the promotion of women, youth, and persons living with disabilities in recruitment and leadership, advertisement for vacant positions state categorically that women, youth, and persons living with disabilities are encouraged to apply. B, ensuring that balanced recruitment based on infrastructure, improved healthcare facilities, agricultural value chains, industrial infrastructure, and others, we'll see a significant rise in the number of new employees willing to consider Kirinyaga County as an employer of choice. And D, coming up with recruitment portal for online application so that we have a wider reach and ease for application process. Chair, on the last question, of any audits or assessment undertaken in the last 3 years to ascertain the level of inclusivity in the recruitment process, the Office of the Auditor General's report for the financial year 2020-2021 had found that 7 out of 10 members of the staff of the County Public Service Board were from one ethnic community, while the overall 92% of the workforce were from the dominant community. The Auditor's General report for the financial year 2021-2022 found that out of the recruitment of 198 members of staff in the year under review, 184, representing 93%, were from one dominant ethnic community, and that the county government had 92% of its workforce from the dominant community. The same applies also in 2022-2023, where we found that 92% were from the dominant ethnic community. The annual reports quoted above have highlighted the imbalanced nature of our staff members. While the county has made strides to address the imbalance, we are, however, hampered by the fact that we inherited an ethnically imbalanced workforce, and over time, despite efforts to address the same, inter-county transfers to the private sector and national government has seen the county lose a huge chunk of multi-ethnic staff. Despite these setbacks, we have put in place the measures outlined above to progressively address inclusivity in recruitment and retention of skilled workers. It should also be noted that while the percentage of members of the dominant committee has remained static at 92, an absolute numbers in the figure has reduced from 2,255 to 2,126. Thank you, Chair, and I submit.
Thank you very much, Governor. I just wanted to clarification on status of compliance on page 6. You've indicated paragraph 2. Year 2023-24, the county government of Kirinyaga executive had a procurement budget of 1.283 billion. Out of this, a budgetary allocation for enterprise owned by women, youth, person living with disability is at 385 million. So, and then you indicated on the same paragraph that you've given women 837 million shillings. So, are you telling this committee you've given women, youth, and people living with disability up to 65% of your contract? The budget for people with disability and women, youth was at 385, but you gave 837, which is 65%. Is that correct, Madam?
Yes, I'm not saying the budget. We're saying that the total procurement budget was 1.2 for that last year. Therefore, 30% would be 385. However, the contracts that we've given to APCO were 837. Yeah, so we have exceeded the 385, which would have been the 30%.
Yes, that's what I wanted to confirm. Thank you very much, Madam. Members, if you have any question.
Chair.
Yes, Chair, Senator Beth.
My very first question is on people living with disability. I can see you at 1.6, and the law requires at least 5% that can be done progressively. Do you have any programs that are going to be undertaken to ensure that progressively you attain the 5% of people living with disability? That's the first question. The second question is, I've seen that you have engaged one person with disability, but they are lumped together, the CECs and the CEOs. Is the person living with disability a CEC or a CEO? Thank you.
Okay. Are you through with your question?
Chair, I've just given the first two.
Okay, fine.
On,
I'll get back to you again.
disability, yes.
Governor, you can answer the two questions from Senator Betsy Ngo.
Thank you, Chair.
Sorry, Governor. Let me ask my Vice Chair to kindly go on record.
Honorable Chair, Honorable colleagues, Your Excellency, the Governor and your team, my name is Joyce Korir, Vice Chair, Parliamentary Service Commission, and a Vice Chair to this committee. You're welcome, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You can proceed, Madam Governor.
Thank you, Chair. On the question of persons with disability, our challenge is also them showing interest. There doesn't seem to be very many. We haven't been recruiting much other than professionals mostly. And if you look at the list that we've provided of the people we've been recruiting recently, they've been medics, agricultural extension officers, youth development officers. And when we do the advertisements, there are very hardly any persons with disability who apply. I don't know whether it's because they prefer not to be in the rural areas, or maybe, it's more difficult when you're a person with disability in the rural areas as opposed to being in more urban counties or cities. So that could be the challenge. But yes, we encourage them to apply, and we hope that progressively we will see a lot more of them applying for these positions.
Do you have your HR director here?
Yes.
Yes. Can you give us some explanation? I think that is your docket, please.
There is also the chair of the Public Service Board, who is here, who actually the recruitment is done
by
the
chair?
Public Service Board.
Oh, okay, good. So you can tell us, please. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of the people living with disability, what we have been doing actively, first of all, when we realized about the issue, people.
If you say anything here,
yes,
we would be asking for evidence.
Yes,
so
yes.
Be very careful.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, because there is issue of application, and you remember people with disability, maybe because of mobility. That's why we have adapted the online portal, which is going to help. Will be helping them with application processes. On the last recruitment that we did, actually, we absorbed 100% of the people who applied with PWD. So you can see we are moving in the right direction.
Maybe riding on the same, if I could ask.
Yes.
Okay, if I could ask, recruitment of people living with disability could be deliberate. Have you contacted any organization which deals with people living with disabilities to help you, even give you at least people who can be employed in the positions you advertise?
Yes, thank you so much. Yeah. At the moment we haven't, but we have sat with the representative from the member of County Assembly, Kenya County, Honorable Olson, on the issue, and we are discussing that on the issues that you're going, on the process that you're going to undertake to mitigate the issue of them actively being aware of the application processes, so that they can apply and we can consider them.
Let me ask direct. Are you aware that you can contact these organizations and they would help you, give you, because most of these people are registered with this organization, because actually why I'm saying should be deliberate to employ, and doesn't have to be people from Kirinyaga. If we can at least try to attain, or which mechanism are you having in place to try and attain this 5%?
Yes, I would say. Thank you so much.
Basically, what he's asking you is, what action have you taken to help people living with disability? At least you can do. Let's say, for example, you're at 1.6. You can add 1%. action have you taken?
Yes. And maybe on the same note, Chair, because the Public Service Board is supposed to advise the governor. And under Article 54 of the Constitution, read together with Article Section 35 of the County Government Act, states very well in terms of people living with disabilities, the appointments that the governor does must give room to those particular special category. And as a board, do you have, maybe on your appointees at this executive, do you have people living with disability? Because I believe that is one of the mandates of the Constitution. Your Excellency.
The executive, the ones that are right under me, I have one person living with disability who's a CEO. Yes, one of our CEO finance.
It's not a CEO, but the CCs, the CEOs. I think those ones are among the appointees.
Yeah, the CCs we choose ourselves. Amongst the CCs, I don't have a person with living disabilities, but even the CEOs, once they are recruited, the names come to the governor, and the governor chooses from the top candidates and submits. So they are also still appointees of the governor. So amongst the CEOs, I have a person living with disability.
Before we move forward, let me ask our minority leader to kindly introduce yourself, and Senator Lomanen also. Kindly, please.
Thank you, Chair.
Compare us with other countries such as South Africa on productivity, where we have, if you look at the amount of work and outputs per individual compared to other countries, you'll find that we have sometimes many people, and their productivity is not as high as it should be at 100%. And so what we're trying to do in Kirinyaga is to maximize on productivity and fully function and see if we can reduce the amount of resources that we spend on human resource so that we can channel more resources to development. Moving away from 42%, we want to go to that 35%, which is what actually is also required by law. And that wouldn't happen with the current budget allocation that we have. And even in the near future, even if you increase the equitable share, you cannot get to 3,800 unless, for example, we have doubled the amount of resources coming to Kirinyaga County. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much, Madam.
Chair, maybe still on the same, can I write on the same? I would request Her Excellency please to provide details of your approved staff establishment, because what you've provided is very summarized. And also taking you to page 3 on your recent recruitment, please, if she could also provide gender, age, and also give us if there are any people living with disability who are recruited, so that we can be able to substantiate.
I think that you've noted that one down.
Thank you, Chair. We've noted we will provide the annexures as we said in the beginning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any further question? Madam Beth?
Thank you, Chair. Section 7 of the National Cohesion and Integration Act prohibits public establishments from having more than 1/3 of staff from the same ethnic community. Looking at your document, Your Excellency, you are at 92% of Kikuyus. Within your explanation, I've seen that you said you inherited a staff establishment with majority of from the same ethnic community. But what deliberate steps or efforts are you making to ensure that you comply with this act?
Madam, I think it's good you're here as chair of governance. This is a problem which is we've seen with many counties. Tell us, how are we going to solve this problem? Because if you go to a place like Garissa, you'll find Somalis only. You go to places like Samburu, you find many Samburus. You go to Rift Valley, Kalenjins. So how are we going to solve it? This is not for issue with the Kirinyaga only. This is, I think, across the country. So tell us how you think this can be solved, not only in Kirinyaga, but in this country.
Chair, indeed it is a challenge across the country. And I think if you look at the way we are structured, I would find, first of all, the threshold of 30% would be a tall order, considering that people live within certain communities and where they reside, you would find majority of the people are of certain dominant communities. Maybe, in my view, first of all, I would propose that the threshold be a minimum of 30, but maybe increase to maybe 50, because it would be difficult if, for example, the people who live in a certain area, because you recruit amongst the people who are in that area, if 98% of the people who live in Kirinyaga are Kikuyus, it would be very difficult to say that you can only recruit 30% of them being Kikuyus. Having said that, I think it is a national issue. We as a country have to become very deliberate on encouraging migration and movement of our people, giving them the level of comfort that whatever it is that you find at home, you will find elsewhere. And one of those is, number one, is security. If you guarantee security of Kenyans, they will move. The second issue is also the level of development. People move, migrate for various reasons. You have a lot of migration because of rural to urban migration. Very rarely will you find rural to rural migration, especially when you come from a rural area like in central Kenya, for example. It's very difficult to find somebody moving to a rural area in northeastern. You know, they would be moving to northeastern area if it is an urban area providing better opportunities. So it's usually people movement is mostly because of opportunities. The third thing I would propose would be education. If we looked at our education system and changed the way we allocate, for example, national schools, and provide opportunities for people to be exposed to what is available in other areas, you would find then our communities would move a lot more than they are right now. We find that majority of people who are in certain region who prefer national schools within their region. And finally, our economic situation. If, for example, a parent has to move their their child to a national school, let's say in Western Kenya, and they are coming from the coast, it's very expensive because they would have to get transport and all. So overall also we would have to improve our economic well-being as a country. If people earn a little bit more in terms of incomes, they would be able to encourage those kind of movements across the country, because Kenya, if you look at Kenya, is pretty small in terms of geographical coverage. And so we should be able to have these migrations from various regions so that we can have ethnic diversity in almost every of our communities. And my final one would be politics. I think we politicians play a key role in whether people actually do move and settle in other regions which are not predominantly their ethnic community. And if we depoliticize this country a little bit more, I think we would make a lot of progress in that area. I submit, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any further question? Madam? Karibu, Minority Leader.
Thank you, Chair. Having served as a minister and in the public service also for quite a number of years, you have the benefit of knowing how the entire country is in terms of work or maybe employment opportunities. I am not convinced at all that 92% would go with what you're trying to explain, that you have tried your best. I think this is your second term as a governor. And what happened when you took in your first term? Why didn't you at least attempt to lower down this figure from 92 to at least somewhere close to 80. But in fact, I think you've allowed it to go up instead of going down. I don't know whether I'm right in that suggestion or not. But I would like you to explain why during your tenure this figure has gone up, and having served as a minister, and you know exactly how this country is all about. Are we trying to say we want the future generation to all appear like they're all Kenyans, but if we lock ourselves in our cocoons, like I come from this area and therefore I need to get a job here. If I look at where I come from, Kilifi, I'm not saying they have tried, but at least they have done better than this. So what's your take on that, and how do you think you could, because we are addressing now your county?
Okay, thank you very much. Let me, before you answer, Governor, let me ask Madam Vice Chair.
Yeah, thank you, Excellency. I know you've tried in terms of how things are done, despite the fact that your staff have given us a document that is, I think this, I can say it's, yeah? Yeah, it doesn't contain a lot of information, Your Excellency, that could have answered a number of questions which we could not even give you problems in terms of raising a number of queries. But I just want to congratulate you in terms of gender, where you've given us the female to be 14, 22, and the male to be 8, 28. That one, I just want to congratulate you on that. I also have a problem, Your Excellency, in terms of age disaggregated data, where it's like all the percentages are almost equal, meaning that the young generation and the old generation is almost the same, which becomes difficult in terms of service delivery, because I want to believe that the younger generations are supposed to enable you to really do the service delivery. Your Excellency, the Governor, there is an issue that has been raised. It has been affecting the entire counties in terms of the percentages that you are talking about. But I want to say that sometimes we find it, we've been trying to look around and check what is the main issue. And I want to say that even in the entire Rift Valley, you find the Kalenjins being the highest percentage. And it's not because they are the Kalenjins, it's because the way the data is being analyzed, they are not segregated to an extent that you can have within the Kalenjin, you have the sub-tribes inside. So if we are going to put the sub-tribes, that is what it's going to cure the problem that even the minority leader is asking right now. So I think it's not about the Kikuyu, it's about what other sub-tribes that are inside there. So I'm sorry, because I'm trying to answer your question, you are supposed to answer to them, but that is one of the issues that we've been raising. Your Excellency, if I may ask you, and also to touch on the issue of person with disability, allow me, I always say in this committee that any county that is beyond 1%, I must say congratulations. Any county that is below 1% like Bomet, I must say they need to pull up their socks. So I just want to say that you are on the right track, you are trying your best. Just give room to them. The Act gives us room on how best we can do the employments for the person with disabilities outside the county, and even the qualifications. Also, they can also be, they are also given a leeway. Your Excellency, can I know the on-source revenue for 2022, 2023, and 2023, 24? That is one. And whether it has been automated. Your Excellency, I would also want to know the percentages based on the BFM Act in terms of percentage for the recurrent and development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A rider on what our minority leader has said. Governor, you have from 2021, from 2021 to 2024, you've employed 288 persons. And if you look at your page the first page, you have 11 communities out of 43 living in Kenya. I just wanted to know, out of 288, if you had gotten only 32 from different communities living in Kenya, you would have gotten 43 communities employed in Embu. With all these qualifications, sorry, Kirinyaga. So can you kindly please tell us why you have only 11 communities in your government? Answer those questions, then get back to you.
Thank you, Chair. I think I will start with the question from the minority leader on the issue of 92%. I think, Chair, as I said, it is not possible for anyone who has come in as a governor to reduce the number of the people who've been employed, because these people are already employed on permanent and pensionable basis. And they are civil servants, and as I said, we inherited them from the defunct local authorities, and then they came, the first-term governors did additional recruitments. So when the governor comes, out of the 2,400 people, I think the only number you'll see that we recruit in a year, you'd see in the 1 year you'd have only about 100 people. So the question of how do you reduce, it's not possible, because that would mean you fire people and recruit afresh. And once people have been hired on permanent and pensionable, that is not possible to do, because you're tied by the law. Even at the national government level, even that retrenchment exercise would be pretty difficult to do. And so we would now deliberately maybe start taking action on the replacement of retiring staff who don't retire at that fast rate, or maybe on attrition. So Majority Leader, you are wrong on that issue of that we have not done anything, because if you look...
I want to find the answer. This is not Majority Leader.
I'm a Minority Leader.
Okay, so thank you very much.
I beg your pardon.
It's going to be majority very soon.
Minority Leader. If you look at our absolute numbers, even when we say it's 92%, you will see that when we started off, the 92% was 2,252. And now the number has gone down to 2,126. Meaning that deliberate efforts of ensuring that the numbers in terms of ethnicity are not increasing. So despite the fact that the percentage has remained the same, the absolute number has reduced in terms of the dominant ethnic community. So that is the question on the issue of 92%, and that also, I would say, as the Chair of Council, that would apply across the board. Unless there is a major retrenchment drive, which is not something that would be considered at this point in time politically or as a nation. If the percentages that are there, you would only be able to increase the diversity over time, and considering that you'll only do if people retire or if they move or on attrition, then you would find that it will still be very slow, because you can tell that that's an average of about less than 10%. In the year 2022-2023, we recruited only 114 people out of the 2,256. So that is less, about 5%.
How many are from, and how many are outside Kenya?
Yeah, and that is what we have said.
See, Governor, we need to make this, we need to put this country in order. There is too much of people trying to, we are having, I don't know even how I can explain it, because it's so bad in this country, and we need people to also have the identification of tribes. But you cannot, in Kirinyaga, you can't employ 200 people and you don't have other people from outside that. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong.
That is the point.
And that is why we are telling you to explain why a person of your caliber, having served as a cabinet minister, having served in the government for so long, and you know the ills inside there, you could be an example and lead the way by showing that your county can accommodate other people and try to fulfill the constitutional requirements.
Yes, Madam Gavati.
You
understand what he's trying to say, right?
I understand. And I think two things. First of all, you realize that even if you look at the number of applicants, that it is very rare. Maybe the Chair Public Service Board
delegate.
Yes, we can confirm this. I am not the one who recruits, but I am aware that in terms of application, over 98% of those who apply for jobs in Kirinyaga County are from one ethnic community. And I don't know whether I am wrong. Maybe the Chair of the Public Service Board can respond to that.
Chair.
Yes, Senator Mofaya.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. You know, I didn't expect this committee to confront Her Excellency with so many questions, because I expected her to be among board, being the face of counties. You know, when people see counties, being the chair of COG, we have had issues with so many other counties, but we didn't expect something what we are is before us now from Kirinyaga, where we know Madam Waiguru has been with us for some time as a cabinet minister, chair COG, second-term governor, you know. And you know, these are not our questions, Honorable His Excellency. It's about the concerns of the country, right? You know, we have ethnicized everything. You know, you become a governor, you put everything, everybody, your kinsmen, your relatives in your government. And this is what is killing this country. And this is why, as a committee of equal opportunities, we are trying to make sure that we do away with this kind of concept as a country. So, if you look at table 1.3 age, we have people who are over 60. I don't know up to what age. Maybe they could be 85 years. There could be somebody who is 85. They constitute quite a number, almost 0.9%. I've also looked about the compensation. I've not even seen even a single Naraka in Kenya, and you know we are very close neighbors. And I know there are very many people who have applied for jobs in Kenya. In Tarakanidi, we have several Kenya people where I come from. So I think, Chair, we must be give an advisory note that let's embrace each other. Let's have a cohesion. Let's bring this country together. Let's not counties become entities of tribal cocoons.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Senator Mofaya. Senator Lumane.
Chair, I hadn't finished responding to the questions that I had been asked before.
Okay.
If I could maybe finish those
So,
questions.
Lumane, let her finish and then can get back to you.
Just to write on to that, again, I don't know which other response can be other than in terms of the challenges because of the inherited stuff. Maybe I should
that's understood. You don't need to go back there.
Maybe I should raise this to Chair to respond, that it may be of interest to the Senator to know that my county secretary is from Meru, and he's here. And yeah, we are not talking about your specific community. I'm just saying we are talking about diversity of the country. Yeah, so it's not about yours. I'm clarifying because the impression that you've given is that all of us are from the same community. And I want to clarify, my HR director who's here is also not from Central, he's from Kisii. The director of procurement is Kamba. I don't know, I think from Makueni. And we have also amongst my CECs, we have a Luo, and my chief of staff is actually Luo, and my former chief of staff was Kisi. So and I think my record shows for itself that I have no such biases, and applies. Having said that, Chair, there was a question on 2023 was 586. What was the target for 20? We are amongst the top counties in terms of surpassing our own source revenue. The question of automation, yes, we had 69% and 31%. I submit, Chair. I think those were the questions that have been raised.
On the issue of 11 communities against 43.
Yes, thank you, Chair. On the issue of the numbers, which begins with people applying, and as it is evidence too of being dominant, there's a nonce, because now again,
Chair, I have...
okay, as I continue, okay.
Shall I make some observations?
Yes,
you know, Chair, that if you look at the 1-4, ethnicity and the data and all these things, Kikuyus constitutes, those are minute percentages, because the actual document says that
this issue even before. We had many counties having similar problems. My problem, in fact, is if you look at...
we are talking the same language, Honorable Chair.
No, the percentage, 92%, come from defunct county councils and municipal councils. To give you one person from each county, you've gotten the 43 communities. Even one person. So tell us...
Yes, thank you so much.
Maybe Chair, to really come out on this, is that you, which is not even signed. I didn't want it to go that direction. So let me not go.
I'm Ray, I'm the brand. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the best. Yani pesa kitu mzuri jamani.